What's up, guys and gals, and we're back for another episode review for Season 3 of Ragnarok, also known as Shimatsu no Valkyrie. This is episode 9. I just finished watching episodes 9 and 10, and I gotta say the animation, I know people are probably already arguing. I haven't seen any comments because I haven't checked anything until I see the whole season, or trying to avoid it as best I can. I'm sure people are complaining about the CGI use for Tesla's thing. I think I brought this up last time, but it's been a while since I made that review, so just to get that right out of the gate, it's used as it's needed. It's used, and it's used quite a bit, I'm not going to deny that, but it looks totally fine, it doesn't throw me off, and I mean, the character model stays on point pretty good. The only reason to do this is when you don't have a movie level budget to make that suit look as good as it does. Like, you would need the animation quality of an opening for the entirety of 4 episodes, you know what I mean? And it's not feasible. They're not going to do that. They're on a time crunch sort of idea, and you need the animators who are good enough at that, even if it's not any hand-drawn anymore. It still needs to be drawn without the CGI work digitally on the computer, right? So, fact is, this was the best outcome. And the animation, they don't slouch. And the reason that I say that doesn't bother me is because they don't slouch on Beelzebub's animation. Beelzebub's animation looks solid. It looks crisp. All the hair flowing and all the expressions, the deep, dark lines, which is something that is missing from a lot of current manga and anime, is the big, thick, black lines on facial features to really showcase the expression. The big, arching of the mouth and the lines to show a good chin and stuff like that, right? Everything's too thin drawn, and it takes me personally out of the moment, because even if the animation flows well, it looks unfinished. It looks almost unclean without those solid lines to showcase. No, we're showcasing every shot can look like a good still for a thumbnail, while at the same time, it flows. It's still moving, and I really like that. And yes, of course, sometimes they use the speed lines and stuff to their advantage. Every anime does. I'm just personally saying that this, for both the, they go through this episode like they continue fighting. Then they do the Philadelphia experiment thing after Tesla's death. And then they go through more Beelzebub's backstory and how he ended up meeting Hades and stuff like that. And of course, Hades, I would love to make him the thumbnail. We'll see. We'll see if I can get away with making him the thumbnail. I don't think I will. He's had enough of the spotlight. But still, Hades, he's down here for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. He's top 5 characters. But the fact of the matter is, all of this episode was very well animated, whether it was just like the CGI isn't carrying anything, and they're not trying to make that the case, right? So, while this episode, I think, flows incredibly well, I can only see the real complaint being about the CGI usage of Tesla. It works for me, and it doesn't take me out of anything, especially with the way they're angling it, and they use a fast cam for some of the shots and stuff like that, or, they're simulating a fast cam motion. It really does work, because while in attack motion, you're not really noticing it near as much. It's only when he's floating in air in the stills and he's talking, and even some of those shots are still the hand drawn version or the digitally drawn versions. The close-ups of his face when he's doing his non, nin, niet. When he's doing that stuff, some of that is hand drawn. Sometimes I was even like, that one might be hand drawn. So I was trying to sort of almost pick out exactly when that was going down, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the entire flow of this episode, because we get a little bit, and I like the dialogue here. Now, I forget because I haven't had the opportunity. I've been very busy, as you guys know, if you've been keeping up with the channel. I didn't get the opportunity, like I normally do, to go through the manga chapters for this one. It seems like they haven't been doing anything that diverges off so far, so it's nothing that I'm like, okay, I better go double back, check the chapters, and make sure there's not the brand new scene or something like that, right? So if I remember it vaguely, I pretty much say, okay, I don't have time to keep up with that. However, this line, I'm not sure if it's exact, but the fact that he just goes, Hades, this is all your fault because of you, and stuff like that. Now I want it, like, we think that near the end of the episode when he's going through this, like he's blaming Hades for everything, it's because I just like the parallel. I think the voice acting and the flow of the episode leads into this more, because when this was dropped in the manga, when we were reading this month to month, most of the community was on the Beelzebub is getting way too many pages of backstory train. I'm one of them. And I was a Beelzebub hater for the most part of this fight, and for the most part of the fight, and everything like that. And his backstory and everything, I was like, he's being a whiny little bitch, blah, blah, blah. It's, once again, context. Context is key, and what we learn later on, he's not nearly as bad, right? But, as a character anyways. But as a character written at the time, I'm sort of sitting here like, meh. But I think the voice actor is doing a phenomenal job of selling us the fact that he's this morose dude. He's completely, done with life and stuff like that. And when he meets up with Hades in the episode, he goes through this whole, and Hades is just a baller. Hades is a badass. He kicks the shit out of Beelzebub, by the way, with very little effort. He's there playing chess, drinking wine with a pigeon. Okay, it's not a pigeon. It's a parakeet or whatever like that. But still, he's playing with a bird. And I think he's actually losing, which is the funny thing. I'm not 100% sure, but by the looks of it, I think Hades is losing that match to a bird. Which you would think would be like, he's losing to a bird. But at the same time, it's like, how great is that bird at chess if he's beating Hades? The question is not, is Hades stupid because he's losing to a bird at chess? The question is, how good is that bird at chess to be beating Hades in the first place? You got to think about these things. But yeah, so he kicks his ass, stuff like that. He's the one who reveals. He gives him a sacred treasure pretty much. And he's like, yeah, here's an artifact, like ancient. It's super powerful. It'll magnify your powers. Not like it's going to be able to, like, you ain't going to beat me. So it's all good. Like, here, take this, take that. Take the kitchen sink while you're at it. I got like 6 kitchens in here. You're good. You want to take a kitchen? Go ahead. And he completely he dominates the scene that he's in, and he's just like, you have no idea. That is not a curse. That was a promise. That marking on you by this Lilith person, which I'm surprised that Hades does not know who Lilith is. That one always kind of bothered me about Ragnarok. You'd think he would, Hades, or maybe he's just playing dumb sort of idea, or maybe he just was like, yeah, I could have known who she is, but I just didn't bother. I do like the idea that Hades is just there like, no, you're not seeing what this is for what it is. She didn't do this to curse you. She did it because she loves you. Like, open your eyes here. And he sort of he's in this almost melancholy state where he explains to Beelzebub, like, hey, I'm wanting you to come back and stuff like that. I look forward to seeing your untimely demise and stuff like that. And he's playing up that role of being the villain because he's like, I've been sort of missing my younger siblings, and it was nice to sort of find a surrogate one in the meantime while I was sort of starting to miss my brothers and their antics. A new younger brother almost showed up and came along, sort of idea. I like the sentiment there, and I like the sentiment, as I said, at the end of the episode where he's getting all pissed off in this battle against Tesla. At the beginning of the episode, the fight's really good, the choreography, as I said, the animation and everything. But when we get down to that last one, he says, Hades, this is all your fault. And we think he's blaming him for, like, not ending his life and all this stuff. But then we see, as he's raging on Hades in his mind, this monologue that we're hearing while he's fighting Tesla, he's actually just like, he died and he watched him die. Because remember, he sat there with Adam. It's like, I don't need to watch the fight. It's Hades. It's how I felt, by the way. It's still the worst outcome of any fight in Ragnarok, okay? Hades should have won that fight. That's just, that there's no ands, if, or buts. The bubble powers are bullshit, and that's, 100%. So, the fact that Beelzebub, and this is where I finally find common ground with Beelzebub, a character that I personally don't like that much, I find common ground because he's there, mouth open, raging at the screen like, wait a minute, what do you mean Hades is dead? What do you mean? And he's like, Hades, this is all your fault because you're the only, like, one of the only people he still cared about and stuff like that, and Satan wasn't gonna rear his ugly head to try to kill Hades, you know what I mean? It's like, Hades can give a shit about me. I'm not gonna turn into Satan and kill him. He's too powerful. Like, he'll see it coming. He'll, like, break my arm and all that shit. So, the fact that he's like, you've now left me alone again. Like, there's another person that he tried to keep a fair distance to, and he didn't want to acknowledge that he was close to him. But the closest thing since, the angels and Lilith and everything have left him, one of the closest, if not the closest person to Beelzebub alive at that point was Hades. And Hades died not due to his curse, but due to another, to humanity. So he's filled up with so much rage. He's like, you did this to me because you died. Now he feels like he needs to get revenge for him. He needs to avenge him. He's like, they killed the only person who I was not a danger to. The only person that I could actually talk to and not in danger. And it was Hades. And now you took him from me. You took the one who actually, gave more than half a shit about me out of everyone still living in this world. And he's just like, now I had no interest in humanity, blah, blah, blah. Now I feel the need to wipe out humanity. And he's like, I hate this ugly side of myself in a way, but he's like, nope, I'm going to do it. Fuck humanity. They took Hades away. And I'm like, bro, I kind of have to agree with Beelzebub on this one. It's a little, oh man, oh man. Like that one, Beelzebub was the one to go up, remember, and stop Adamus. He was the one to go up to him and basically say, no, can't do this. This would be dishonoring Hades' wishes, Hades' death, Hades' honor. This would be dishonoring. Meanwhile, Beelzebub is there, like trying to hold himself back from, I want to kill that Chinese bastard. You know what I mean? Like, he wants to, and he's letting this all well up inside of him. Beelzebub has always tried to push his emotions down, and now they're starting to bubble to the surface in this sense. So, very powerful ending for the episode. I really enjoyed that part of it as well. I think I covered everything. I think I covered the majority of the episode. As I said, I'm not trying to do this as a play-by-play, though some reviews end up that way. But yeah, good episode. Well-paced. Like the animation. Of course, Hades being back is always going to be a, mwah, chef's kiss from yours truly. But yeah, it's going really well. And then, of course, this fight continues on in the next episode because this major, build-up attack that Beelzebub is about to pull off, well, it's not exactly kosher, as they would say. So, anyways, we'll get to that when I review episode 10, which I think I have the time to review one more. I had time to watch 2 episodes. I think I'd have time to review 2 episodes. So, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, and subscribe as always, and we'll see you guys back here for episode 10's review as well. And then hopefully we'll get to the last 5 episodes of the season in short order. So, stay tuned for more. Have a good one. Sayonara.